The car smelled of rain-soaked leather and my own ragged breaths. Thick and heavy, my hands gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, as I stared at the windshield at the diner across the street. There she was, Leah, her auburn hair glinting in the neon glow, laughing with him. Her ex, Marcus, leaned closer, his hand brushing hers across the table. My chest clenched, a sharp thud that felt like it might shatter the glass, separating us. She'd asked for a break 2 weeks ago, her voice soft but certain, saying she needed space to find herself. And now, there she was, found in the arms of a past I thought we had buried. Rain streaked the window, distorting their figures, but not enough to erase the image seared into my mind. I wanted to storm inside, demand answers, scream until the world made sense again. But my legs felt like lead, pinned by doubt and dread. Had I missed the warning signs, the late nights at work, the distracted glances, her smile that never quite reached her eyes, or had I just been too blind, too trusting to see what was unraveling? I replayed her words from that night, each one a shard in my chest. "It's not about you, Ethan," she'd said, hands twisting in her lap. "I just need time to figure out who I am outside of us." I nodded, swallowing the ache, believing her because I loved her, because I thought love meant trust, even when it hurt. And now, watching her laugh with Marcus, that trust felt like a noose tightening around my throat. The diner's bell jingled as a couple left, umbrellas blooming like dark flowers in the storm. I sank lower in my seat, breath fogging the window. My phone buzzed on the passenger seat. A text from Leah. "Working late again. Don't wait up." The lie stabbed sharper than the betrayal itself. I'd only followed her tonight because of a gut instinct, a gnawing unease after she left the house in a rush, her perfume lingering like a ghost. I hadn't planned to play detective, but the pieces were falling into place, each one heavier than the last. I remembered the early days, Leah's laughter filling our tiny apartment, dancing in the kitchen to songs only we knew. She teased me about my awful cooking, eyes bright with warmth. Marcus had been a shadow then, a name mentioned once and forgotten, a chapter supposedly closed. But fleeting moments had lingered, her phone lighting up with his name, dismissed casually. "Just catching up," she'd say, voice too easy, too casual. I let it go, thinking doubt was a betrayal of my own. Now, the diner's glow carved their silhouettes in sharp relief. Marcus' hand lingered on hers, and she didn't pull away. My chest burned, a cocktail of rage and heartbreak. I wanted to believe this was innocent, a harmless reconnecting. But the way she tilted her head, fingers curling around her coffee mug, as if holding on to the moment, it was familiar, too familiar. It was how she used to look at me. I forced myself to breathe, to think. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this was just two old friends reconnecting. But the lie in her text felt like a splinter under my skin. I needed answers, but confronting her now would shatter whatever fragile thread remained between us. Instead, I started the car, letting the engines hum drown out the storm for a moment, and drove home, each mile weighted with questions I wasn't ready to face. At home, the silence was deafening. Our apartment felt like a museum of our life together. Photos on the fridge, her scarf draped over the couch, a half-empty wine bottle from our last happy night. I poured a glass, trembling in my hand, and sat at the kitchen table staring at the clock. Midnight came and went. The wine turned bitter on my tongue. When Leah finally walked in at 1:17 a.m., hair damp, cheeks flushed, I was still at the table. She froze, keys clattering to the floor. "Ethan, why are you still up?" "I couldn't sleep," I said, voice steady despite the storm inside. "How was work?" Her eyes flickered just a moment, but it was enough. "Fine, busy," she said, turning toward the bedroom. I caught her wrist, gentle but firm. "Leah," I said low, "where were you tonight?" She pulled back, expression a mix of guilt and defiance. "I told you I was working." "Don't." The word cut sharper than intended, and she flinched. "I saw you at the diner, with Marcus." The air cracked between us, like ice under too much weight. Her lips parted, but no words came. For a moment, I thought she'd deny it, spin another lie. Instead, she sank into a chair hands covering her face. "Ethan, it's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is," I said, voice breaking. "Because right now, it looks like you're throwing us away for someone you swore was in the past." Tears glistened in her eyes. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I ran into him a few weeks ago, and we started talking. It was innocent at first, I swear." Her words choked on the truth. "Then what?" I pressed, heart pounding. "You decided you missed him? That I wasn't enough?" "No," she said, voice raw, desperate. "It's not about you not being enough. It's about me not knowing who I am anymore. I've been so lost. Ethan and Marcus. He reminds me of a time when I felt free." Her words hit me like a punch. "So you lied to me. You asked for a break, but you were already running back to him." "I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered. "I just needed to figure things out." I paced, trying to keep my anger in check. "And what did you figure out, Leia? That you want him? That you want to throw away 7 years for a fling?" "It's not a fling," she said, quiet conviction in her voice. The calm certainty stopped me cold. "I don't know what it is, but it's not that simple." The room spun. I wanted to scream, to beg, to pull her into my arms and make her remember us. Instead, I grabbed my keys and walked out, door slamming behind me. The rain had stopped, leaving the world slick and shining under streetlights. I drove aimlessly, the city a blur of neon and shadows, until I found myself outside the diner again. It was closed now, windows dark, but their laughter still haunted me. Hours later, I returned home. Leia was gone, her scarf missing from the couch. A note on the table in her careful handwriting. "I need time, Ethan. I'm sorry. No promises, no explanations. Just absence." I sank to the floor, crumpling the note in my fist. The betrayal wasn't just her with Marcus. It was a lie she let me live in, the trust she shattered. But as the anger faded, a colder truth settled in. I'd been so focused on her betrayal that I hadn't seen my own failures. How I ignored her quiet pleas. How I let routine replace passion. The next morning, I found Marcus's number on her phone, left carelessly on the counter. My thumb hovered over the call button, torn between confrontation and closure. Instead, I typed a message. "Meet me at the diner. Noon. We need to talk." Heart racing, not with anger but with something sharper. Resolve. I wouldn't let this end with her walking away. Not without a fight. Not without knowing why. The diner's neon sign loomed in my mind. A beacon for truths I wasn't sure I was ready to face. But I would be there, waiting for whatever came.